Hello everyone, and we're back with another LEGO Transformer. Today we have Autobot arcee. So, arcee here it's another Beast Former out of a usually non-Beast Former character. So she is an axolotl. Like the little translucent head bits. There is meant to be 6 of them, so there is sort of these like 2 smaller, chunky ones at the top here. Because I couldn't fit them around the head fully. And then on the sides here, there's just the 2 like minifigure, like action pose pieces on either side used to make them. You've got the eyes and of course the Autobot logo. The front and back legs, the tail, which does have some translucent pieces all around it. It's just got some translucent pieces on her back. Quite a few bits of like dark grey here and there showing up, but that's fine. So for scale, I'm gonna bring in Bumblebee in his robot mode. So these 2 are normally deluxe sized characters. arcee does keep a sort of deluxe profile in terms of like her scale towards a more Voyager sized character. But in terms of like Bumblebee's more of a core class at this point compared to everyone else. He is really small. And of course, if you saw my previous video on this guy, he turns into a literal Bumblebee instead of a car. As he's my only other Autobot Beast Former necessarily, not fully counting Optimus Primal, but I'll get to Optimus Primal eventually. Probably good to get to him soon though, because of the Rise of the Beast film. But for the transformation, I'm going to start by taking these front legs and just angling them out, rotating them back, like that. I'm then going to take the back panel here and flip it up like that. And then we can bring her up, fold down these rear legs, fold it up. Oh. So rotate these around first. Fold them up. A piece just popped off there, and then angling those out, we're going to just flip that up for now. Just flip it up like that out of the way. I'm going to come around to the front, bring down her arms, fold them down, and we're going to take the front axolotl legs. We're going to rotate all of this around and sort of wrap it around her forearm there. Do the same on this side, so hinge in, rotate, and sit it flush. We're then going to rotate our head, and we're going to leave the face rotated around to give clearance to bring down and collapse the axolotl head. Then we can simply rotate the face, bring these pieces round and back towards the shoulders. And when we come to the back here, I'm just going to splay. And there are 2 ways you can have these shoulder pieces. You can either have them up like a G1 style, or my preferred style is, and what I personally think just looks nicer, is to fold them down like that. We're then going to come to the tail and just angle this down, bring the legs forward, or the tail, and just split it to make the legs. Then we can rotate the upper body around. And if she will stand, she'll probably fall. We have arcee in her robot mode. So bringing in Bumblebee for scale again, you can see that core sized character, deluxe sized character. Or like a little higher than a core. I'd say more of like a really small deluxe, like a legend size character compared to a more standard deluxe height. She is just a little bit shorter than most of my Voyager class characters. For size reference, we'll bring in a previous character that is more of a leader class with his size. He is quite large. We have Tarn. See, Tarn is a much larger character. It doesn't even fit on the framing for this figure. Apartment, of course, being another beast character turning into a camel spider. If you want to see these weird ass designs, then I have most of them uploaded already. Tons of previous video that I've done. And for a more Voyager sized character and another fembot, we have, and get her into frame, although she's a bit of a bigger Voyager-ish, we have Starscream. And she's about the same, Starscream's about the same height as Optimus and look a little shorter than Megatron in terms of size here. So like she's a good comparison. Also like being the only two fembots on the display, I thought like I'll bring them both in together. Get Starscream out of the way, put her back. And for another deluxe, more standard deluxe character, although a little bit shorter, we have Centurion. Or more particularly going off of the more well-known name would just be Heart of Steel Bumblebee, where he's like a little steam train. I've also noticed some of the newer stickers I have aren't as good as the older ones. The older ones are the ones I've used here and here, where they have the white outline. The new ones are the ones like on the chest, where it just has clear, and it does not look as good. They don't stick out nearly as much, and they're just not as nice looking. The original ones I ordered off, I think, AliExpress or Wish, so they took, like, forever to arrive. And then the newer ones I ordered off Amazon. But I know there's, like, specific sites where you can get, like, a lot of decals. And I'm going to start looking into that, because they also have, like, Maximal and Predacon. And not that anyone cares, but they have the G2 ones as well. But the G2 ones just arguably uglier than the original versions. Hence why they stopped using them. But in terms of weaponry, we do have a little pistol for arcee. This is just used the pink Overwatch blaster piece, and then a bunch of various parts just slapped on it. And that just clips into her hand. For articulation, she is decently posable. She's got a ball-jointed head, which can look that far down, and nearly all the way up. She's got a really good waist. Like, she can bend all the way back, pretty much all the way forward. She can bend side to side. It has that stud on her belly is split, and that's why it was falling off so easily. And then her legs have a ball joint, but they can't kick forward a lot. They kind of have to get caught on this hip piece, but if you want to kick one leg in particular forward, you can just rotate that. That is, unfortunately, I couldn't get it in pink and had to use white, but it's just a boomerang piece. If they release the boomerang piece in pink, I'll get it and change it. And then she just has regular hinge 90-degree elbows, just with these nice clear heels with her like platform boot looking things. I also like the clear like fin details and things all over her from the axolotl. I think it looks really fun. The backpack isn't terrible either. It's just kind of like, if this could fold a bit more flush, it would have been a lot nicer. But it's not too bad. You can always like leave it up if you're not too worried about it going over the head, but I prefer to keep it down. Because honestly, compared to most arcees, that's a pretty good backpack. Arms have a ball joint at the shoulder and pretty much maximum elbow bend. You can cheat it as well by moving this around to the underside of the arm, which is just another option for displaying it. I just choose to have them over the front, but if you do that, you can literally like fold the arm completely. I just prefer the look a lot of like the front axolotl legs like wrapping around her wrists there. Of course, she's got the Autobot symbol on the axolotl's head that now forms her chest. And similar to Bumblebee, she somewhat keeps the usual arcee transformation stuff from her little pink car into this axolotl. Usually like the front section of the, like one front part of the car, from like the bonnet becomes the head, this now being, or like becomes the chest, this now being the axolotl head. There's a little back panel. There is these pieces as well that can stick up from the rear legs. The arms fold up into the sides and the legs form the rear. That is all for RC. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video, which will be, I don't know, maybe